Good morning, welcome to Newsdesk. My name is Winston Taki. Coming up in this bulletin, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat troops in Chihuahua Imposto Forest Reserves as government intensifies its fight against illegal mining. More here on Newsdesk as Ghanaians abroad expect President Mahama to do more to combat the menace.
Saying that he is going to do.
So we are live in New York this morning as United Nations General Assembly gets ready for its 80th session. President Mahama will be the 12th speaker at the event. Also, Asante Hima Nana Kunedu Yadom III to be laid to rest later today. We are live from Kumasi for the latest on that. We have these plus some business update which entails that the policy rate has been reduced to 21.5% and some other news coming up on this bulletin. We are independent, fearless and credible. My name is Winston Taki. Stay tuned after this. And now to a false story. Now, in less than a week, President John Mahama will take the global stage at the United Nations General Assembly in New York. He will be the 12th speaker during the high-level week of the 80th UN General Assembly session. In this piece, Joy News' Carlos Coloni speaks to some Ghanaians living in New York on what they expect from this session.
Well, with just a few days to go before the high-level meeting of the 80th UN General Assembly, excitement is building among Ghanaians here in the United States. Many are eager to actually hear President Mahama's address, and the expectations are clear. Top of mind for them are issues of immigration, concerns, and the ongoing issues of Galamsey, as well as issues of LGBT and constitutional review. We can take a listen to what they have been saying.
Mine has to do with the constitutional amendments with regards to the appointment of the MCs. Not only that, it's not only the MCs that they should be elected, but the regional ministers also must be elected. And every region should have a regional parliament. What I want the president to say with regards to the checks and balances, that because when Barack Obama came to Ghana, he stood in our parliament and he made it clear that we don't need strong men, but we need strong institutions. The only way the country will move forward is when the institutions are strong.
When the president mounts the podium, I want him to first talk about the Galamsey issue in Ghana and the LGBT. Because I remember the LGBT issue. Sam George proposed a bill when Akufo-Addo was in power. But when Mahama resumed power, we've not heard anything about it. He needs to make a stand, whether he's for or against the LGBT issue, because it's a big challenge in Ghana. What is he doing about illegal mining in Ghana? These are the two basic things I think he should talk about. Because Ghana is a developing country. People need quality water. People are dying as a result of illegal mining. What is he doing about it?
What I want Mahama to do to fight mostly in Ghana is the Galamsey, and other thing is the discipline of Ghana, because most Ghanaian constitution lacks a lot of discipline.
I would like the president to ponder on the issues of Africa free trade zones, how we, the connected countries, will have access to free market, access the free markets, not even to talk about globalization within our own circle, like West Africa.
Well, these are the key issues Ghanaians in the United States say they will be listening for as President Mahama takes the stage at the UN headquarters to address the world. And of course, Joy News will keep you fully updated with all the major speeches as the UN marks its 80th anniversary. From Times Square here in Manhattan, Carlos Coloni for Joy News.
Away from that, Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa says the Mahama administration will stop at nothing in the pursuit of the reunification of the African diaspora to promote national development. Describing the diaspora as Africa's safe region, the minister believes that their reconnection the continent will go a long way to support the push for preparatory justice, he says, speaking at the launch of the 2025 Diaspora Summit launch in Accra.
Be alive.
The Diaspora Summit 2025 is an initiative aimed at deepening partnership between Ghana and its global diaspora while harnessing their resources, expertise, and networks to accelerate national development. Addressing a gathering at the media launch of the upcoming summit, Kofi Otredako, Director of Diaspora Affairs at the Office of the President, intimated the diaspora is a monumental resource for Ghana's development.
This summit is an important reset. It is important, and it's also about repositioning the diaspora from being seen only as senders of remittances to being recognized as full partners in our national transformation. Ghana's greatest wealth is not beneath the ground, like we find in my hometown of Adansiako, Kerry, but it's with the people, both home and abroad. We recognize the diaspora, being diverse people whom we have to be very intentional about in terms of engaging with as a monumental resource for growth and development.
Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, who sees the African diaspora as Ghana's 17th region, says their reunification should go beyond driving foreign direct investments.
We send a clear message that we seek nothing but justice. We seek nothing but truth. And we seek nothing but our reunification. And that we will remain one people that cannot be separated by oceans or by history. Our brothers and sisters in the diaspora represent the 6th region of the continent. And as has been said, the 17th region of our republic. We cannot be whole, we cannot be complete if we do not fully recognize their existence.
With the Diaspora Summit slated for December this year, government says it will stop at nothing at ensuring a smooth event.
The Office of the President is working closely with our Diaspora Affairs Office, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and all the agencies that were listed. And no efforts will be spared to ensure that the summit for this year becomes a defining moment.
Later at the United Nations Summit this year, the government of Ghana is expected to advocate for reparatory justice. Blessed Sugan's report for Joy News, Accra.
Let's come down to the Ashanti region. Kumasi's bustling central business district has fallen silent this morning as shops, markets and offices closed in honor of the late Asante Hima Nana Kunedu Yadom III, whose sacred burial service reaches its climax today. The shutdown directed by the Ministerial Palace is part of measures to accord the Queen Mother a dignified farewell befitting her status as the mother of the Asante Kingdom. Traders, transport operators, banks and other businesses who were exempted from the restriction during the day have complied, leaving the usually busy Kejetia, Edum and surrounding areas usually calm.
Burial service. I bet you we are going to see display of rich culture at the Ministerial Palace. Started already with what we can see over here. On my left, on my right, people are crowded. All of them want to see what is happening today. The general public would have access, but the access would have limits and time restrictions. And the time restrictions will include, or will begin from 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. is a total shutdown in the region. So you can see the chiefs, some of them who entered your two force, mainly are the main courts. These are paramount chiefs, some guest chiefs who would have the chance to enter the Asante Hine's official courts even before they make their way to the Efuakobi Park for the proper burial service. And on the other side of the street is where we would be having, or where we have, the Asantehima's body lying in state. And over there, we have crowded people too, mostly queen mothers, who are in there observing with the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II. And that is the road that leads you to the Asantehima's yard and where she is being laid in state. Yesterday, we had political party representatives. We had the NDC and the MPP come in. Today, we're expecting President John Mahama, former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, former President John Agyekum Kufuor, the Vice President, Professor Jena Nopoko-Agyemang, the former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and all other dignitaries from the diplomatic community will be joining His Royal Majesty. Yesterday, the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister of Eswatini represented the King of Eswatini at the Menchia Palace. And so this is what is happening today. Live scenes as chiefs arrive in their numbers to join the Asantehene, bury his sister, and the Asantehema Nana Kunedu Iyadom III, the former member of parliament for the Subin constituency. Honorable, you are live on Joy News. Today you are joining Asantehene to mourn his sister.
Asantehene and Asantemai.
Okay. And how is this? What does this mean for you as an Asante?
Well, I'm a very proud man today. You can see. Just going to view the body, take a seat, arrive for 240 City State for me to go and greet him. It's a very, very fantastic, wonderful day, day of culture, day of tradition. I think everybody watching this program will be very proud of us and proud of Asantemai and what we stand for.
You are dressed in your kutukuri just like me. I'm sure you are depicting the beautiful culture of the Ashanti people. From the entrance, what have you seen today?
Oh, the spirit is just something else. The whole spirit about Asantemai is something else. Fantastic. You know, look at the crowd. Everything about this Dotiye is splendid. And this is the kind of tradition that we are going to preserve for generations unborn and, you know, what have you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Eugene. He's the former member of parliament of the Subin constituency, and he is also an Ashanti who is here to join the Asantehene. We have the executors who are already on the streets, most of them who have been giving us signs and indications that today is going to be a very busy day and a very tough day for all of us in the Ashanti Kingdom, looking at the fact that nobody must be moving about just anyhow, but in accordance to the rules and restrictions that have been put in place by the Menchia Palace and the Asantehene. We have the Kokofu Himam, who is the representative or the current or acting Asantehene. In the absence of the Asantehene, the Kokofu Himam takes place as the Asantehene. And so this is the acting Asantehene right now, and the people all the way from Kokofu. The reason why Kokofu Himam is the acting Asantehene is that in the olden days, the seat of the Asantehene was located at Kokofu up until years back when the then Asantehene decided to draw the seat from Kokofu to Kumasi, and in Kumasi it was brought to the Menchia Palace. And so it is believed that Kokofu Hima is a replica or a sibling to whoever becomes Asantehene, and that is why in the absence of that Asantehene, the Kokofu Hima is recognized as the acting representing Asante Hima. And so today, with her sign being the elephant, she takes place as acting Asante Hima until the Asantehene appoint a substantive Asante Hima. And so we have the history of how Kokofu Hima takes place as Asante Hima, and that is her coming with her people. She is the only Queen Madam who is also seen as a man. Traditionally, she's not just seen as a woman, she's seen as a man. That is why she comes alone, not with any king or chiefs, but with herself and her people. That is the tradition of the Ashanti people and the tradition of Kokofu. And we are a bit crowded over here and tough for us, but this is what is happening. Going forward, we'll bring our viewers up to speed details on what is happening here at the Menchia Palace. Over to you.
Out on about Yardon giving us live update on what is happening here at the Menchia Palace, basically. And certainly we'll bring you live feeds there in the course of our bulletins as well. Now, away from that, in Wa Na Fusini Seidu Pelpo IV, for the first time in 18 years, has climbed as Dumba Festival, crossing over the cow with the aid of his walking stick or staff, which is his symbol of authority. Symbolic customary practice of using the staff to cross over the cow is the first in over 100 years by any occupant of the Wala skin. Rafiq Salam has more in the story.
Another day of reckoning has come for the Wala overlord, Nafusin Sidi Pilipo IV. It is a mandatory duty for him that he performs every year, jumping or crossing over the cow without any part of his body or clothes touching it. In case he is indisposed, his walking stick, for that matter, the staff, which is a symbol of his authority, could be used to cross over the cow. It is one particular day in the life of the Wala overlord that he grows goose pimples over, especially at a time when he is aging, frail, and weak. He is 74 years of age, and yet he is expected to execute the task for the 18th time.
The atmosphere here inside the One House Palace is really charged. It's one that is filled with tension. There are a lot of emotions. The people are really praying to God for a successful crossover of the cow by the Wala overlord, Nafusin Sidi Pilipo IV. You can see behind me you have all the leaders of the 12 recognized sects in the Wala community. They are here. They will help him. They will walk him through for him to be able to cross over the cow.
Close family members and queen mothers cramp at the palace mosques, praying to God for a successful jump. One of them is Duru Pogna Amamata Mumuni.
By His grace, we have never met in the mosques during the clamors, but this particular year we are here praying seriously that God should help him to cross over the cow successfully. So you can see the queen mothers here, all of them praying to the Almighty God so that God will accept our prayers.
Wearing for the umpteenth time, the over 100-year-old smock used to be worn by his grandfather, Napelepo III, daughter with several amulets on his front, beneath khaki faded brown shorts over black sandals, appeared at his balcony well composed, focused, and ready for the mandatory tax. Jimpena Kader Ibrahim speaks for the world overlord.
He's going to symbolically lift the state across its hurdles. That's going to be the meaning of the exercise that he is about to perform. The success of it would mean that the state has a brighter future going into the ensuing year. So all we do is continue to pray to our Maker, our ancestors, to, as usual, let us be successful.
It was a solemn occasion. The usual fanfare, drumming and dancing that usually greets the world overlord when he appears at the forecourt to cross over the cow was missing. Per the tradition, now for Saint Philip IV is expected to move round the cow either 3 or 7 times before he cross or jump over the cow. Accompanying him on this spiritual mission are the landlords, Tindambes, the Bonemini, who served as the warriors of the world overlord, and a couple of close family members he wished to perform the royal duty with. Leading the charge are the members of the Limari clan, who serve as the spiritual godfathers of the world overlord, with recitation of some verses from the Holy Quran. After going around the cow 3 times, many expected the overlord to personally cross over the cow as he previously did on the 17 occasions. To their surprise, he crossed over using his walking staff. Nakadur Ibrahim explains further.
Age is catching up with His Majesty. And so with aging, that comes with its own challenge of a reduced level of physical strength and agility. His Majesty taught within the traditions that he would customarily be obliged to have the assistance of the symbol of authority, which is the walking stick, to undertake a successful exercise. Just as his grandfather Napilpo Yamusa III did.
Mind you, this is not the first time a world overlord crossed the cow using his walking staff.
As his grandfather Napilpo Yamusa III did in the last 3 years of his reign before his demise, when it got to a critical point of his age where he became so weak, he did the crossing on 2 occasions with the aid of the walking stick, the very walking stick that His Majesty used.
After the successful crossover, now for Saint Philip IV retired to his palace and returned exquisitely and gorgeously dressed with his medallion dangling on his neck, a sign of relief for the world overlord and the world state.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam.
Yes, so that's Rafik Salam bringing us a report from Why Indeed. Now moving on, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat on Wednesday swooped the Nchiwa Impunua Forest Reserve as government intensifies its fight against illegal mining. NIMOS had support from the 4th Infantry Battalion of Ghana Army and the Forestry Commission for this operation at Nchiwa Futo in the Nkewie Forest district of the Offin Shelter Belt of the Ashanti region. The team retrieved and immobilized 9 excavators, seized 2 Toyota Hilux pickups and 1 Nissan pickup, 5 Shamfon machines, 7 water pumping machines from the site belonging to the illegal miners. Well, we are speaking to the former Dean of School of Geoscience Department of Geospatial Science at University of Natural Resources, in the person of Professor Emmanuel Hahin. Prof, it's good to have you here on Newsdesk. Now, help us understand, your department has done several research on the implications of Galamsey operations, and based on these findings and how the security and the regulators have consistently been coming across some of these instances where excavators and some funds have been seized, some have been burnt. How do you describe the approach handled by the government?
Thank you very much for having me. This issue started many years ago. Government has made several attempts to address it, but it appears the approach has been very similar, and Ghanaians are not really seeing the impact, but it is something that one has to begin from somewhere. Yes, several excavators had been collected from these illegal miners, and certain actions had been taken. This approach, if actually will address the problem, I think we should have gotten the solution by now. So what it suggests to us is that there is something that we are not doing. Why are the people there? What are they looking for? How can we help them to see what they are looking for, so that the most important thing that the country is looking for can be obtained? We want these people to mine responsibly, but not illegally. We need to get this right. Mining illegally means that you don't have the right to do what you are doing. So the fundamental thing as a country we need to do is to formalize the system, make sure that the people that will be mining will be legal people. And if they are legal people, then there should be protocols that they will follow. They should be regulated in a way. And getting things right, we will not require the military and the police chasing them about. I think in some of my presentations on this issue, I look at a problem which is fundamental, and it appears Ghana is not really looking at that, and that is the legal framework. 2011, when the mining and mineral law was promulgated for the small scale, the idea was people should use local implements, pickaxes, shovels, to look for gold for livelihood purposes, but not for profit as we are seeing now. So the contexts are not the same. So if the context is changed, then the law that was promulgated needs to be looked at. People are no longer using pickaxes and shovels. So the impact on the environment is going to be bigger. So once the term of reference has changed, there should have been a need for us to revisit the law. Do we still have to give 25 acres of land to people to mine with pickaxes? No, because the current people are not just doing it for livelihood, but they are doing it for profit, meaning that they will use heavy moving equipment. And this is what had made them to be where they are not.
Okay, Prof, I want to understand from you, basically, you mentioned about a legal framework in this the conversation. I want to get from you, what would you propose as a very legal approach, or let's say an appropriate approach to dealing with those who are possibly financiers and those who are engaged in the illegal operation, especially when it comes to the case of persecution?
Yeah, the legal process I'm talking about here is not just prosecution. If we get the law right, okay, then Minerals Commission that regulates them will be able to implement all the things that will lead to responsible mining. So my proposal will be, instead of giving concessions 25 acres to practitioners, 25 acres is equivalent to 0.1 square kilometers. If you take an excavator there, it will take about 2 days to finish off the ground. And how much are the people going to get? So the first proposal in the law is increase the size of the concession. Just multiply it by 10, make it 1 square kilometer, which will be equivalent to 250 acres. Within these 250 acres is not everywhere that will host the gold. So you have to do what is needful. Get geoscientists to do the exploration, define the area within the 250 acres where you can find the gold. He will provide you with the grade of the gold, give you information about the morphology of the gold, and tell you of the resources. That this is the amount of gold within your concession. And therefore, if you want to take this one out, this is how much that you need. But when you define that, you don't just begin, because somebody gave the 250 acres to you. So the outcome of the exploration work has to be reported back to the commission. And then from your report, the commission will then give you a mining lease for that particular area. Because when they are giving you the mining lease, there are certain fundamental questions that they will be looking for. How going to mine the gold.
All right, Prof, when we look at, when you use a Google map, you get to find out some key areas where illegal mining activities are ongoing, and you could tell the kinds of deforestation that has happened in those areas. Based on this proposal you're making, later have we heard about land restoration being done in those areas, and why has that been a key challenge for the ministry?
That has been the case because it is not in the legal framework that had been given to them when they were granting the concessions to them. Let's compare it to the large scale, where they have given them exactly what they have to do. Do the exploration, define the area that you want to mine, we give you the mining lease, okay? And then they monitor how you do it. And at the end, they ask you, what will you do when you are decommissioning the mine? That is where you reclaim the areas that fundamentally you have to reclaim. But this is lacking in the Small Scale Act. It's just 25 acres, a Ghanaian above 18 years, will this go and mine? So when they get to the field, it becomes a gamble. They will dig here, they find it, they will dig here, they will not find it. So if you realize that you are losing money, the only thing that you can do is run away from the site. And those are the evidence we're seeing on the ground about no land restoration process. It is not something that they have made it clear to them that they should do.
Does that necessarily, Prof, does that necessarily call for the clarion call that is ongoing, possibly for illegal mining to be halted, just to ensure that the appropriate actions or structures are put in place to avoid replications, that's as what we're seeing now?
Yes. I think it happened during the SY administration where they paused mining operations, small scale and artisanal, for I think about 2 years. So we, the experts, were expecting that during that time, we will be invited to come and provide solutions. It was not just allowing the water to get restored, but to provide the right protocols and then suggest additions to be included in our laws so that the small scale will mimic what is happening within the large scale sector. I don't think we have issues, big issues with the large scale sector, but we're having issues with the ASGM because there is no clear cut. Apart from giving them the concession, there is no clear cut in our laws to tell them do A, B, C, and D. And that is our fundamental problem. One other suggestion that probably I want to make here is, if you want to buy a Mercedes-Benz, you must have an idea how much it will cost you. If you want to buy Camry, you must have an idea how much it will cost you. But in giving out the concessions for the small scale, there is nothing like a cap. How much money can one have to be able to go into this small scale? If we have a cap like that, we will include the geological investigations up to the mining. So if the person hasn't got that, then there is no way he will be able to go through all the protocols that will lead to responsible and sustainable mining. So reviewing the law and bringing these things in will be the fundamental start point of formalizing the system. So there is that need, maybe for a temporary halt to address these sort of issues. What we are doing now is that we are always scaring people. Gold is found in most of the areas in Ghana. Incidentally, I don't know whether it was a plan of our colonial masters that they started the geological investigations in Ghana. Let me land here. They started the geological investigations in Ghana, and when they were going, they planted a forest. So you see that most of our forests
thank you, Prof.
are endowed in gold. Yeah?
Indeed. Thank you so much, Professor Emmanuel Ahin. He's the former Dean of the School of Geoscience Department with the Department of Geospatial Science at the University of Energy and Natural Resources. Now let's go back to education, where the Deputy Education Minister, Dr. Clement Opak, is speaking on the computerized school selection and placement system now.
Through this number, 0244 908 957, 0244 908 957. On behalf of the Honorable Minister for Education, the staff of the ministry, our agencies, and in particular, the Ghana Education Service and the Ghana TVET Service, I extend our warmest congratulations to all candidates, whether placed directly or through the self-placement portal. You have a clear and secure pathway to continue your education. Let us, as parents, teachers, community leaders, support our students and ensure that this placement exercise contributes to their success and to Ghana's progress. Thank you, and may God bless our collective effort. Now, I'm available to take a few questions. A few.
They have included in the USHS.
Yes.
Can you tell us the number of students placed at some of the 70 so far, or they are available for only self-placement purposes? Thank you.
Okay, follow-up question. Please, let's your name and then the media house you are.
My name is Adnan Adams. I'm with Newsguide Africa. Also, just to know that the private schools also have their system of running their school and the quality as they want to ensure. Would there be any additional form of payments from students to the school in terms of augmenting the government support to the private schools?
Okay, Hanan, so that Honorable Minister will respond to the first three questions. Oh, okay. Then Honorable Minister, I think.
Thank you. With regards to the first question, the 70 private schools we currently have on a pilot basis could not be added for the automatic selection. But we have added them onto the system and they are available through the self-placement process. DJ, am I right?
I think one of them were added.
Very well. So out of the 70, 21 were added to the portal, automatic selection, which would then mean that if we want to know the number that was not added, then we subtract. So this would be 9, 39, 49. I wasn't a good math student. So 49 of the 70 private secondary schools added to the delivery of the free senior high school policy can only be selected through the self-placement system. 21 are available and have been enrolled into the automatic placement system. With regards to the second question, what I know is that the private schools that have agreed to participate in the delivery of the program are going to receive from the state or government the same fee that government spends. An abated fee from government to cover for the students who are going to enroll. If I may invite DG to provide more details on this, because he has been working directly with the private schools on this assignment. DG.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable, for the opportunity to contribute to this discussion. So, the private schools have day arrangement, all private schools. That was what they asked for. And we are giving them everything we give to the public school. But when it comes to the releases in terms of capitation, feeding. No, not the feeding. Is it capitation? Yeah. We are going to give them an updated amount. They are not going to take the same amount as they are not going to take the same amount as the... It's recurrent. No, it's not recurrent. When it comes to the recurrent, we are not going to give them the same amount as the public schools because of the fact that they have to pay their staff and all that. Thank you very much.
Any other? You identify yourself, your name, and then the prayer house.
When it comes to the portal and the self-placement, what we normally encounter, parents normally encounter, is the fact that all the category A schools will be locked. We can't do self-placement there. What accounts for that? My name is just a quick one. When will the distribution centers begin operation? Good to know your money. Right. My name is Daniel. I work with TV3. I want to find out. So, what is the percentage of students who have now been placed in the category A schools? Because you mentioned excess of 5,000. Where you said.
So that was Education Minister bringing us updates, especially on the computerized placement system. And we'll be back after this break with more. Stay tuned.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. The Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, is making a case for the introduction of a new tariff line known as public lighting tariff to be paid by consumers According to the ECG, the current structure of the building street lighting is not sustainable, as most of the funds are retained by the Ministry of Finance. Making a presentation as part of a public engagement on the proposed utility tariff increment to the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, General Manager of Financial Planning at ECG, Moses Okle, said the new tariff line will provide efficient lighting at all public places. Here's more.
Public hearing is part of processes by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission before approving any price adjustment. According to the Electricity Company of Ghana, financing most of its key projects for the year will not be possible if the proposed increase in the tariff is not approved. In a presentation to defend its proposal at the hearing, General Manager of Financial Planning, Moses Ukli, is requesting the PURC to approve a new tariff line for public lighting.
Currently, there is no public lighting tariff per se. So whatever energy that is consumed by public lighting, ECG only applies the average end user tariff to determine the sales or the consumption of public lighting. We are asking the regulator to come out with public lighting tariff so that we can properly account for energy consumed by public lighting. It will sound a bit strange, but that's the reality. The current public lighting levy that all customers pay is a levy that is imposed by government, and only half of that levy comes back to ECG to cover the energy cost.
The PURC, however, indicated that it will scrutinize the proposals after engaging with the public. Here is the Executive Secretary, Dr. Shafiq Suleiman.
The Commission's role is to be an impartial referee, balancing the legitimate need for utilities to raise enough revenues to invest in and provide reliable services, with the equally legitimate need for consumers for fair and affordable tariffs. Therefore, I urge you all to participate actively. Your experiences and your voices are invaluable. They will ensure that the final tariff structure we approve is not an imposition, but a balanced and credible social contract, one that safeguards your interests, ensures the utilities can serve you better, and supports Ghana's development.
Some members of the public have been reacting to the proposals made by all the various utility service providers so far.
Oh, it's too much. It's just too much. It's just too much. At least when you want to increase, you also have to consider when you are moving from, what do you call it? What percentage to more than, from 6% to, from 19 pesos to 61 pesos. The percentage is so high. So they also, even if at all it should be increased, they should look at that margin and reduce it. It is very important that they bring it down.
The proposal is way too much because ECG at this moment, we all know there are a lot of leakages. And when you go in there right now, you could see the concerns of people asking questions and the charges they make and they give to the ordinary Ghanaian. And when you go to a lot of the areas, when you come to my electoral area, there are a lot of the houses that are doing illegal connections. And we don't see anything better ECG is doing to mitigate some of these issues.
Now, Southeast Asia's largest shipping line, Pacific International Lines, has reaffirmed its long-term commitment to Ghana and Africa, signaling readiness for deeper investment and expanded services. At a high-profile ceremony at the port of Tema, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman officially named PIL's latest 8,200 TEU LNG dual-fuel container vessel, marking a milestone in the company's drive for greener shipping solutions. Here's more.
Pacific International Lines, PIL's liquefied natural gas dual-fuel vessel, Kota Odyssey, deployed on the Southwest Africa service, enhances trade connectivity between Asia and West Africa, while cementing Ghana's position as a regional logistics hub. With over 30% of its Asia exports destined for more than 30 African countries, 40 ports, PIL continues to expand investment in Ghana, where Tema serves as its West African headquarters. The vessel's LNG engines, methane reduction systems, and advanced digital automation reflect PIL's focus on technological innovation and sustainable low-carbon shipping. Chief Executive Officer of PIL, Lars Kastrup, indicated that PIL supports inclusive growth by having Ghanaian seafarers on board.
Kota Odyssey is deployed on our flagship Southwest Africa service, which connects China, Singapore, Ghana, Togo, Nigeria, and Cote d'Ivoire, and back again. I just exchanging with Minister of Transport that to have a weekly service, we need to have 12 of these ships. So we have 4 plus 4, but we have more to come. So we continue to invest in new ships so we can make sure that we have a very sustainable service to West Africa. Kota Odyssey is equipped with state-of-the-art digital solutions, which improved automation and also safety and performance. Her LNG-powered engines and methane reduction technology reflects our commitment to environmental stewardship and innovation.
Chief Executive Officer of Meridian Port Services, Mohammed Samara, says Terminal 3 of Tema Port is capable of handling 3 million TEUs annually and accommodating the largest vessels, leverages real-time tracking, paperless systems, and 100% digital stakeholder engagement to boost efficiency and reliability. Transport Minister Joseph Bukari Nikpe says the country has created a business-friendly environment that continues to attract global shipping lines. All
right, and that's it for this segment. My name is Darryl Kwao. Back to you, Winston.
Thank you, Darryl. And I saw some familiar faces in the news.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. Thank you for watching today's edition of NewsX. My name is Winston Taki. For more news, visit myjoyonline.com. Have a good business day. Bye-bye.